Welcome to Talk Around Riyadh, the Wheel of Time showcast. I am your host, Joe Perry, here with my co-host, Jen Isgro and Tom Koza. How you doing tonight, Jen?
I'm doing great. We're 1 week into this new year, 2024. We're in the presence of Mr. January himself, so I'm excited, and we got some stuff to talk about tonight that could get pretty juicy, so I'm raring to go.
This could end friendships, maybe, this discussion, so...
I don't know.
I
Hopefully not.
What do you
think,
got
a long podcast to go.
It's not a game of Monopoly or Uno, Joe. It's not going to get that heated. But yeah, I think we'll see how it goes. It is going to be a meaty discussion.
A game of Taboo?
It's hooves.
Balderdash?
Was that Balderdash?
That was Balderdash. Yeah. A couple of days ago, I came down to the men's room, the restroom right over here, to my right, and it was leaking. The toilet bowl was leaking, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm not particularly handy or anything like that, but I feel like I could do certain things with the toilet bowl." And it was none of those, and it looked like the seal between the tank and the seat had, like, one of the seals and the gaskets had leaked. So I attempted to fix it, which the first time didn't work, but now it's been 2 days and there has been no leak, so I think I can officially say that I'm a fully certified plumber. I think that's the moral of this story.
Are we doing plumbing stories? Is this a plumbing podcast now? Is that what's going on?
Look, man,
I am surprised that your story didn't end with you had to buy a new toilet or you had to call a plumber. So kudos to you.
I call a plumber so often in this house. So I was very proud of myself that I didn't have to this time.
I like how you called it the men's room, as if nobody else can use it.
Yes, when you said the men's room, I thought you were talking about somewhere else. Because not one time have I ever heard a person call their own bathroom in their house the men's room or the ladies' room.
I think he was trying to be like gentle about it.
Yeah,
it was just funny.
I refer to it as such.
Or is it just? Well, you've already spoiled it for us, but I was going to say, is there no toilet and it's just a urinal in the room? But clearly there's a toilet because that was
just stand up.
Can we move on?
I throw ice in there.
Let's move on before everybody starts sending us hate mail, and let's get to something a little more interesting. So, Jen, why don't you tell us what's happening?
Welcome back, everyone. Anybody know who that song that was?
Kelly Clarkson song?
You got it. That was Behind These Hazel Eyes by Kelly Clarkson.
Wow.
Anyway, welcome back. Our first item of the night is a slight departure from my usual format. I'm not going to highlight a particular post, but instead an entire Instagram page, because costume designer Sharon Gillam has been absolutely killing it lately, sharing looks at all our favorite costumes, and I hope it never ends. In the past few weeks, she's featured Moraine's Kyrian ensemble, the development of the Shanshan soldiers' helmets, and Alana's green silk robe that proves that, no, she does not always lay in bed in her traveling clothes.
Yeah.
Please, if you're not already, follow Sharon_Gillam_costume_design and check out all her fantastic posts.
We'll put that link in the show notes so you don't have to remember any of that.
Just remember, 3 underscores, 4 words.
Yes. Okay, our second post is a New Year's post from Guy Roberts in costume as Uno. Guy writes, "Happy New Year. Welcome 2024. And remember, I still got my bloody good eye on you. You flaming goat kissers." Those emojis I can read. Photo by the one and only amazing Beck Star Allen. I don't know who that is. I tried to find out and couldn't. Hashtag Uno Bloody No Mesta. Hashtag Wheel of Time. Hashtag Insta of Time. Hashtag I got my eye on you. The photo is a close-up of Guy as Uno and gives us a very nice view of the makeup done on his face, which appears to be maybe a burn of some kind under his leather eye patch, which also has really beautiful detailing of the eye on it. It's nice to see up close like this, and I can't remember if we ever find out in the books how Uno lost his eye.
No, I don't think that you do. I don't think you do. Joe, you have an idea?
I don't recall.
Central Park and fall. When you toy a dress.
I feel like it's like there's a cop out where it's like he was only born with one eye. Like you.
No, this one. Well, maybe in the book. This one is clearly like it looks like he was burned.
No, I think in the book.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember if they ever tell
He
you.
has a score. So I don't know.
Tweet at us, hit us up on Instagram. Or
He lost his
Facebook
left
or
eye. There's a
whatever.
socket there. It's not a. It's not. There's no. It's not like a blind eye. It's empty.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it had to be
Alright.
removed, or he was born without one. I'm just picturing Guy Roberts when he shows up at WatCon, like being like, you know, one of the Beatles or all the Beatles, and everyone just swarming him, like, oh, Guy, fucking
Yeah, let's not do
Guy."
that.
People screaming until they pass out. Yeah.
Yes, we're just gonna have to have an EMT on standby, smelling salts, lots of smelling salts.
Well, you kind of half ruined the end where I was going to say,
Oh, sorry.
Happy New Year, Guy, and we'll see you soon
Not if he sees you first
with his good eye.
with his
He's
eye.
got his eye on you. The last item of the night is, of course, hashtag hen news. Juliet Howland writes, I think my funny, very bossy, and now top hen, Avi, might have made a New Year resolution. I will start sharing. She's always hated sharing. She shoves the others off the feeder she wants to be at, and then stands across the front to eat so they can't get on and get to the food. Naughty girl. So this harmonious scene came as a bit of a surprise. Avi, with her new beautiful feathers, including a couple of random dark ones on her back, at the feeder with Nevi, who also now has beautiful new feathers, eating quietly. Long may it last. Avi end up being tough. Where have we seen that before? Eventually, Avi and Nynaeve do come around to each other. Also, Avi has some random red feathers growing on her back. It's almost like these hens know who they're named after. If Perry Hen ever starts calling wolves to the yard and they don't eat her, then we'll know for sure.
It's a good point.
Oh boy, we don't want to test that theory.
No, we don't. But that's all I have. If you guys are good, I'm good. So back to you, Joe.
It's a good way to start the year off with some hen news.
Yeah.
Yeah, exciting. I'm sorry, I'm just reading the post. Well,
Since we're doing hen news, could I add one more quick piece of hen news that brought me so much joy?
Sure.
So, for those of you listening who are not on our Discord page, you may not know this, but yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, Tiana on our Discord, I think it's 3 years now.
This is the third year.
Yeah, two plus years ago, found a calendar, Glamour Hens calendar. It's like glamour shots of hens with like little like awesome catchphrases about being your glorious, glamorous self. And so the first of every month, she'll post a picture of that month's hen, and she did it 1 year. It was amazing, and she was kind of vocal about the fact that she was hoping to find another one. So we got a second year out of it, and it was like there was nothing. And I really thought to myself, well, there's no way that they are going to make 3 of these things. And so on New Year's Day, when a new calendar image was revealed, I can't tell you how unbelievably happy it made me.
Oh, it makes me happy every month because I forget about it. And then all of a sudden on the first of the month, she posted in the Discord and I'm like, oh, I forgot about this. This is great. And then, yes, I was totally thrown off for New Year's. I was so surprised and so happy that Tiana got another calendar. So now you've got, Tiana, the pressure's on now. You have to do this every year now. This is 3 years now. So you got to keep it going because we love it. And if you don't know what we're talking about, go in our Discord. There's a channel just for animals, I guess, really.
Yeah, that's what it's called. All animals, all the time.
Yeah,
right?
I was gonna call I was gonna call it all pussy all the time because I just gotten the cats and it started.
Then you realized,
yeah. Then I thought
like,
maybe
wait, that's really offensive. So
well, it could be offensive, but
it could be offensive,
if you're offended by it. So just don't be offended by it. Pussy cats, get it, whatever.
Problem
Anyway,
solved.
yes, thank you, Tiana. I literally love every time you post that, and I love you for doing it. So thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, so shall we get into some news that we have to talk about? Because I believe that's what we're going to be focusing on today, because I feel like this was a kind of a bombshell dropped in the community on like a few days after the new year when all is quiet and all is well. John from What Up, the YouTube channel, released a new video where he talks a little bit about where some of the actors were filming for season 3. If you haven't seen the video yet, I will, of course, post a link in the show notes so you can watch it. It's a short video, so go ahead and do so. But I guess I'll cut right to it. He was talking about the Tanchico storyline and that which actors are filming for the Tanchico storyline. And of course, you know, people we expected to hear, Elaine, Nynaeve, Leandrin. He mentioned Ispan. Remember, we covered that a little while ago, that Ispan was cast. And then also Moghedien, which is all people that we expect to be there. And then he threw in 3 other names that are reported to be filming at the site they're using for Tanchico. Tom. Okay. That's actually normal. So I should have put that with the other ones because Tom does go to Tanchico.
I was going to ask you that because he separated Tom from the other people, but Tom was in Tanchico.
You're right. He was. I'm moving him onto my other line, even though it has no bearing on anything that happens ever in the future.
I think it's just more along the lines of like, he's back and this is where he'll be.
Yeah. So sorry I let off with Tom because that wasn't really anything.
Well, you're building up. You're building up the drama.
Tom is back. Yes, excited everyone. He wasn't killed off the show. Min. Okay, now what? Min. Yeah, if they're not going back to the White Tower, the girls aren't going back to the White Tower, it kind of makes sense that Min would go with them, but also then what happens with the whole Tower coup storyline if Min's not there?
How does Min get wherever they are? She's in Carrie-Anne at the end of the season.
That's also, that's a good point too, Tom.
But that's such a minor question compared to the questions I have about the next name you're about to say, Joe.
So Min and Matt. That's right, people. Matt is supposedly going to be in Tanchico for season 3. Now, I know what you're thinking, Jen. You're thinking, isn't Matt supposed to go to the Waste with Rand and Aviendha and Moiraine and Lan and Egwene?
Yes, I am thinking that, Joe. You're right.
Well,
he is.
So was I. I was thinking so. And we talked a little bit about this, like that, you know, jokingly, that this could be something that they do.
Right.
But I mean, first of all, John's 99% right with his, you know, with his information that he gets.
Yeah, there's a level of trust there. I mean, you know,
and
and he's very confident. This is not a like,
and he doesn't like
put the pieces together.
Yeah, he won't just put stuff out on a whim unless he's fairly confident that it's accurate. And the fact that it's 3 characters. Or I shouldn't even say 3, but all of these characters seems like it couldn't be wrong because then you'd have to be wrong about multiple things. So this seems to be accurate. Matt going to Tanchico, Min going to Tanchico. What are your initial thoughts when you saw this, Jen?
My initial thoughts is that they're probably going to combine Tanchico and Ebou Dar in some way because this is a lot of the same players in those 2 stories, and they're similar. Like John said in the video, they're going to find a magic item, and in a city, it's Nynaeve and Elaine with the Black Aja are there, and
I have some
Tom's
thoughts about that magic item too. We can get to it a little bit later.
So it's weird. It doesn't bother me too much. I don't feel like Matt does a lot of stuff in the Waste, except for like Rhuidean. And if after that's over, like until they get back to like the battling, once they get back like over the wall and you know then the Band of the Red Hand and all that stuff. But before that, in the actual Waste, like he's just like traveling with them. He gets his hat, but nothing that I think has to happen in the Waste for him. I think the important stuff for him could be moved.
So some of these stuff that. So one could argue that some of the stuff that happens to him in the Waste has already happened, right? He got his memories back when he blew the horn.
He got his memories back, but he wasn't filling holes because there were no holes in his memories.
No,
he just remembered something that he didn't know.
He remembered,
or he didn't know there were holes.
He remembered he wasn't a pussy,
right? But it wasn't like after he was healed, he had like the holes, and then he had to fill the holes.
Yes.
There wasn't anything to fill. It was just like, oh, you just remembered something.
No, there were no holes being filled. No, and he got the Ashandarai. So those are 2 things. Those are 2 things one could argue that have already happened to Matt that happened in the Waste.
I have to say, I agree with Jeff. I mean, my first reaction is I hate it. And
mine too.
My second reaction is, no, wait, this is really bad.
Really?
That was my second reaction as well.
And it's not about next season, because I agree with the two of you that a lot of the stuff that happens to him in the Shadow Rising in the Waste can be moved to the room full of curiosities that's been established that are in Falm already, or there could be like the Panarch's Palace could have stuff like it has whatever magical item they're looking for, right? Mm-hmm. It's not that. It's that if you take the assumption, because I agree with you, and I think John references in his video as well, if you take the assumption that they're going to be combining Tenchiko and Ebou Dar, and you're sending Mat there now, and Mat isn't in the Waste, then Mat doesn't go with Rand to Carrion, Mat doesn't become a battle leader, there is no Band of the Red Hand, Mat doesn't become a general, and there's really no opportunity for him to do that unless you're radically changing things that happen later on in the series. And if you are rapidly, I want to be clear, because like if you're doing that, then the Band of the Red Hand is going to be completely different. I think what this is saying to me, Mat's storyline and his books are not an important thing to the people making the show.
I don't think there's any way that there won't be a Band of the Red Hand unless the show gets canceled before they get to it. I don't think there's any. I don't know. I understand what you're saying. I don't know how they're going to do it. And yes, it might be like totally different.
It's like three guys.
But if the show gets finished, Mat will be a general and there will be a Band of the That is going to happen.
Here's how they could do it, Tom. They could have the Seanchan attack Tenchiko and Mat.
Again? No,
not again. No,
but I mean, like they just attacked. They didn't get a chance to regroup yet.
That's true, but I don't know. I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily have to happen in this. In the next season, the Seanchan could attack Tenchiko / Ebou Dar, and Mat leads. Has this whole battle scenario happen with the Seanchan instead of the Aiel.
Right, you can make the Band of the Red Hand like Beslan and like some guys from there instead. There's no Carrienan, there's no Andorans, there's no. It's just Terrence. People from the
south.
You
think
right?
There's going to be like a what's her name? Oh my god, why am I blanking?
Tylan.
I'll
tell you this.
I think you get the Panarch. You could get Amathera.
Yeah,
you could have Amathera be the Panarch and have her just kind of pop up every once in a while.
Yeah, and you could have her be Tylan because there's likely not going to be a Julid. And you could have her be both of those roles. I think that's fine. I think that if you're combining Tenchiko and Ebou Dar, Mat's not. Why would you do that unless you're going to leave Mat there?
Because you're not going to getting rid of Ebou Dar. Ebou Dar's not going to happen.
Right.
Bowl of the Winds isn't going to happen.
Right. No, but which means Mat stays in this city until season 6.
Why?
Because Mat doesn't leave Ebou Dar.
I know, but this is Tenchiko. They're just altering Tenchiko a little and getting rid of Ebou Dar and doing a whole other story.
Exactly. If they're getting rid of Ebou Dar, then either Mat stays in Tenchiko until he leaves with Tuon, or none of that happens. And it's something completely different, like season 2. It's just whatever. Yeah. We'll just have Mat do some stuff.
Well,
right?
You know what? We're not going to get the moment then that I feel like they've already set up, right? There's a moment that I'm going to talk about right now that they set up with a scene in the second season. One of the scenes I hate, or we all hate, I think. So there's the scene in Saladar, right? We're not going to get Mat going to Saladar. That means if he stays in Tenchiko until he leaves, meets Tuon and leaves. So that means no Mat in Saladar. And then we don't get the scene of Mat bowing to Egwene as the Amyrlin, where he's thinking like, I'm not going to let these people mess with the Two Rivers girl, my friend. Mm-hmm. And I feel like they've already set that up with the scene where Mat sees Egwene crying in the tower and then just leaves her.
Yeah. I don't think Mat's going to stay in Tenchiko. Like, there's too much that has to happen to him before
I don't think he stays there either.
No.
Then I don't see the reason for combining them into the same city.
Because Ebou Dar and Tenchiko are like the same story. So just
but if you're going to have Mat leave and come back, you can make them two different cities then. It doesn't make a difference.
I don't think he's going to come back.
Then he doesn't get... Then he's not under the Seanchan rule. He doesn't kidnap Tuon to escape.
That's later.
That's in Ebou Dar.
I understand. It's in
my reason to combine is to not have to leave and come back and reestablish that things again. Like, you just That's it.
I think
the
Jen's
reason they
saying
combine
under
them is
different
that
circumstances. They don't have to go to a city and
I think they're combining them to get rid of Ibu Dar, but they like
them.
Some of the parts of some parts of Ibu Dar they like.
They'll just work her into something else. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So,
they're not going to
all right.
go back to another city just to meet
Think of like Fail. They're putting Fail in a totally different place.
Okay. All right. Fine. Well, not. I mean, they introduced her in a different place, but she's in the same place here. But like, okay, so Matt goes to Tanchico, doesn't go with Rand to the waste, or doesn't end up with Rand in the waste. Rand leaves to presumably get the Shadu to do something, whatever. And we've already theorized that he's not going to go to Carian again, that maybe he goes to Tyr at this point. That's where he gets Calendar, who knows? Matt's not there for any of that. The Seanchan, you're saying, don't come up right away. So Matt's season 4 storyline is nothing. Then eventually, somehow, somewhere, Seanchan show up someplace. You guys don't think it's going to be the same place.
3 storyline.
Why can't Matt go back to
season 4 storyline? Why would he? Why would
I don't
Rand
know. Who cares?
Okay,
nobody even knows what Rand would be.
Hold on here.
I'm just saying, like,
I want to give you
literally.
I want to give you some thoughts on how to fix that. Okay. These are comments. Please. These are comments on the video that I pulled that actually solved that problem. And this is 3 people said this, and maybe some more actually. I don't think I pulled everyone, but this is Jean Calva 9504. She says, working hypothesis. Matt goes with Nynaeve and Elaine back to Tar Valon, possibly for further dagger healing, or goes with them directly to Tanchico, I'm assuming, without going to Tar Valon, but she thinks they're going to go to Tar Valon. In Tanchico, Matt finds the redstone door frame and enters it and encounters the snakes and foxes who grant him his 3 wishes. On his 3rd wish, he requests to get away. He requests a way to get out of there and back to Rand, and he ends up with Rand and Rhuidean. Right, so he goes into the stone doorway in Tanchico, comes out Rhuidean. Another person, Joshua McFadden 427 says it'd be cool to see Matt enter an archway in Tanchico. Actually, he put Tanchicho. That sends him. No, he put Tanchicho. That sends him to the snakes and foxes. Then he appears in the waste where Rand is through the archway that is there. So now he's putting a stone door triangle in Rhuidean. And then Jeff Van Gully says, Matt will join the girls and Tom and Min in Tanchico and find a twisted doorway there. He'll end up exiting in Rhuidean as Rand emerges from the rings, and we'll get that book canon rescued towards the end of season 3.
I like that. I think when we had Obar on the show, he kind of suggested something similar, but he suggested the opposite, and I think that's more likely.
I think it's more likely in Tanchico.
That he goes to the waste, and while he's in there, that's where he finds out that the girls are in danger. That's one of the answers that he gets from that.
But you also wouldn't like that because then he's
I don't like it at all.
That's worse because
it is worse. I would like what they all said better. I don't think that's happening.
I don't think that. I think we're all just like wish everybody wants him in the waste so bad that they're going to try to figure out a way that he could still be
I will just remind you of things that have happened in the show already. Things like Matt drinking tea and having an acid trip that are just bonkers things happening. Lanfear just appearing in Carian blasting the shit out of things.
Right, but things that are not in the book. Were there things that we were like trying to make happen that ever happened? Like,
yeah, I think it's more likely that Matt's storyline is completely fabricated in season 3 and doesn't match anything from the books than it is that half of it is and the other half will be the books. Yeah. Right?
I just think they have some kind of outline where everything's like the battle stuff will happen. He's already knows how to be like he's already like a battle general. Like it's in his head already on the show.
I feel like they shoved that in your face in the show. Actually, I don't know because it was very quick.
Like, I fought beside you. I mean, no, I don't know how the show people.
That doesn't mean he's a general, though. Does he say anything about?
I know, but I'm saying he's got battles that he remembers from all the times that Archer Hawkwing is saying, which he's not really supposed to, right? Because you're not supposed to remember your past lives when you're alive again, right?
Right. You're only supposed to remember them until around.
This could be like one of those. He blew the horn.
Yeah, whatever. So
if a hero of the horn
got memories of all. He might not be a general, but he has memories of all these battles that he's got in his head.
Right, and a lot of the memories he has in the books are not general memories. They're just memories of fighting and dying.
Well, no, most of his are remembering of generals, like leading armies. Well, he talks about like these battles he led.
He does. I'm just saying they're not all that. I'm not saying they're. I'm saying they're not all that. That's all. Yeah. I think that what you call it, I think there's possibilities, right, to make him a general somehow, or get him back involved with other storylines, whatever. I don't think that any of those make sense if you're combining Tanchiko with Ebou Dar. I think if you're going to combine them, then he should just stay there for whatever reason until the Seanchan show up. And then he could be a general when he leads a rebellion against.
That's like 2 seasons from now.
Well, then what you would do then?
And what's he going to do?
So then, what you would do then, Tom, at the end of the season is, do what's it called? What do they call them? Where you think a cliffhanger with Matt? Mm-hmm. You thinking Matt dies with the building falling on him, and that's how you end season 3 for Matt.
No,
I don't know.
That's what happens in Ebou Dar.
Yeah, this is in season 3.
Yeah, but there's only going to be 8 seasons. Think about half the books. You have to so if we're talking about season 3, you're talking about books 5 and 6, technically, if you were talking 2 books. But I have a feeling they're going to cut a lot in those, middle 4 or 5 books. 6 is so much like just people talking and moping that you could cut a lot of 6 and some of 5, right? And make that one season. I think season 4 ends with Dumais as well. As I've been saying that from time out of mind. Yeah, I think so too. I think Rafe will die happy if he gets that. I think we'll all die happy. If we hear the green light of season 4, then I think we can be happy and confident to say that we're going to see Dumais Wells. But you never know. We won't know that until we see season 3 and we're like, what?
And I do think that if you're going to have Dumais Wells in season 4, then you don't need to also have the Battle of Carrion in season 4 or season 3. And I think you can just cut that. And I think if you cut that,
you can kill the
Shido. There's no reason. You can cut the Shido leaving. You could cut. There's no reason for that.
But they show up at Dumais Wells.
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason for Matt to be with Rand because he's not going to become the leader of the Band of the Red Hand in a battle that doesn't happen. And he's not at Dumais Wells. He's already gone at that point. So you eliminate a lot of things if that's the way that you're going. It's just that I honestly feel like the more I think about it, the more I think about the first time that you will see Matt lead an army, if this show gets the 8 seasons that we hope it does, is at the last battle. That's what I think is going to happen in the show.
So one of the other comments has an interesting suggestion. Rebecca Davi 8493. In the season 2 finale, they gave Rand's connection to the heroes of the Horn to Matt. Perhaps in season 3, they will be giving Couladin, something that happened off screen in the books, to Rand. So then we potentially get Rand killing Couladin in this season.
I like that.
Well, if it's going to be in Tanchiko, then having Rand kill
Couladin. Yeah, I like that.
Is Couladin even a character? Well, we know he's a character.
Yeah,
he's cast.
Yeah, we do know that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was interesting too. Somebody also suggested, assume Matt goes through 2 different doorways still, he could find the second doorway in Tanchiko instead of Viridian. So I guess they're saying that he goes through the first doorway in Falm, and that tells him, then the first doorway could tell him to go to Tanchiko instead. And that was Mark and Tara, which if we get the Finn, I feel like we're not getting 2 doorways. Although it would be really cool if they did a doorway this season and then did another one like in a couple of seasons, like throw it off for later instead of doing it twice in the same season. I think that would be cool to go back to that, but I don't think they're gonna. The go back to it is, I think, just the Tara Genji part. So
I think it would be interesting because I agree. I don't think they're gonna do 2 different episodes where they're in that world. But I think it would be interesting if there is 2 doorways, if you don't see what happens the first time anyone goes in.
Yeah.
And then all you can tell is the context clues that whatever happened for Moiraine and Rand, something very different happened for Matt. And then
they could just
and then Matt goes back in and you get to see what it is.
Yeah. Imagine all the cold opens were Matt in Finland, and it's just like it's like a, what's it called? It's like a Memento style. They start with the end of his trip into the Finns, and then it goes all the way back to the beginning.
I actually love that.
And that's just all the cold opens. It's a reverse sequential.
I love that.
Let's do it. We should be filmmakers.
Lock it up. We didn't edit it yet.
It's not too late. Yeah, it's not too late. Well, actually, with that, wait, now that I'm talking about that and thinking about it, that's the crystal columns. That happens in the crystal columns.
It's true.
So
We're already doing it. Never mind.
Maybe that's how they do the crystal columns. They do it all in cold opens, reversing.
Oh my God.
Well, actually, I wouldn't even reverse it. I would start it with the oldest stuff, and then by the end, the last episode, you realize.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, what were we talking about again? I lost track. Matt. Yeah, there's a lot of uproar. Okay, what about Min? Let's talk a little bit about Min, though. Going to Tanchico. I feel like the show, and when I say the show, I'm probably saying Rafe has no idea what to do with Min. That's what I'm feeling like so far with her story. It's like I don't think they know what to do with her. They're just throwing her anywhere. They're just like, oh well, what about Min? Oh, let's just put her with them. Or like, you ever see the South Park episode where they talk about how they decide, oh God, who, I can't remember what it is. It's like who the president is or some stupid thing, or like, and they cut the chicken's head off and it runs around on like a Wheel of Fortune wheel and just dies. Yeah. That's what I feel like Min is. It's like, let's just throw a bunch of cards in the air and see what happens. And that's where
I can't think about I can't remember how Min ends up with Rand.
In Camelin.
Yeah.
She goes with the Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember now.
Yeah, she goes with the Camelin.
So what if Matt and Min both go into the Finland together, and then they end up in Broidian, and then that's how Min and Rand get together. But then Min and Rand and Aviendha are together at the same time.
I think Min's gonna get dragged along with Liandrin. I think Min's gonna get dragged along with Liandrin.
I feel like she has to be.
But Liandrin didn't even know she was there, unless she runs into her.
I think she has to be. She has to go and meet up with Rand for that whole part where the Aes Sedai come and kidnap him. I think she has to be there for that. So they have to work.
Yeah, but do you think that, like, I'm getting a little off track, but do you think that Rand is going to have time with Elaine at the beginning, or we're going to see that they had spent time together before he goes with Aviendha?
Yeah. I think we'll get a whole episode of them just in Falme.
I don't know if we will.
Yeah,
I think
at the beginning of Shadow Rising, a lot, like a quarter of the book, there's like in tier. Like they
but the same thing happens in The Great Hunt.
For like hundreds of pages.
The same thing happens in The Great Hunt.
I think it starts off. I don't think you get there's a decent part of the Shadow Rising where like they're Elaine's trying to tell him, and then they have the plan, and they think they're letting him down, and he's trying to let them Egwene down. I think you just skip all of that, and it starts, and they're in a relationship, and it's just established like, hey, they're together now, and they can have some dialogue as to why.
You don't think Rand and Egwene need to have like a scene together where they let each other go?
No,
I think
maybe you do that.
Yeah,
or maybe
you can't just have Rand
say
hanging out with Elaine, smooching with her without addressing what happened with Egwene. That's going to be a whole episode. I'm telling you, there's going to be a whole episode.
I don't think there's time in an well, maybe if you started out like
half
that.
An episode.
That's just going to be their part, though. But like they'll be doing other things. Maybe there's
like Rand's going to do stuff. Like Rand's going to have to do stuff in this episode, probably.
Will there be a bubble of evil maybe that comes, or?
Yeah, I really do think. He's
also got to make his decision to go to the waste, right? So there'll be that.
Send Perrin to Two Rivers.
I bet you. How much you want to bet we're going to see Rand training with Lan in the first episode? Guaranteed. Yeah. Book it right now. Give me odds on that.
I'll take that. I don't think that they're going to have a resolution for Rand and Egwene on screen. I think they're going to start, and they're going to Elaine and him are going to be together.
He just saved her. He just went there to save her.
Yeah. No, if
she
they do
saved him, they have to address it.
That's suicide.
That would be bad.
All right, let's think about scenes. Okay, we're way far afield, but let's think about scenes for Rand in episode 1, season 1. You've got training with Lan. You've got scene with Egwene. You've got no.
Season 3 you're talking about?
Yeah.
Season 3, episode 1.
Okay.
Training with Rand. Scene with Egwene. Scene with 2 scenes, I would say, with Elaine to establish they get together and they are together and other people know about it.
Yeah.
Scene with Rand deciding to leave and go to the waste.
I think there's going to be scenes with pressure on him to make a decision on what he's going to do next, probably from Moraine.
So that is 7 scenes we just said for Rand in the first episode.
Well, it depends. Are these Rafe written scenes where they're like,
well, then you can put another 7 in then. Right? A minute of pop. No, I think that, really. I think that that's too many. And I think that,
no, it's
bad writing if they don't address it. It's bad.
You're gonna get Perrin leaving or on his way to
right,
I agree with you.
Do you think Elaine
the show is not above
Yes, that's my point. Like there's things that have to happen, and this is something you want to happen.
No, it has to be resolved. It doesn't need to be show.
It's resolved by the fact that he's with somebody else right now.
We're all sidestepping Min.
Why can't we just talk about something else for a minute?
We've been talking about something else for 5 minutes. I just want to go back to Min because we started to talk about her and then we got sidetracked. And this is the surprise that we know is happening as opposed to other surprises we don't know. So Min goes to Tanchico. She's Julian Sandar, I guess now. She absorbs him, I'm assuming. We're not going to get him.
I think maybe she absorbs Eganin.
She's like a Seanchan insider. I feel like they're gonna need a Seanchan insider, some sort of character to be a Seanchan insider. But
do you think they're gonna go right away to like, hey, the Seanchan are just in this other city and they're doing stuff? Like nobody even knows. Nobody knows that Soldam can be Damane. In the show, in the books, people find out, right? Because those people exist. Only one person it happened to, and that person is dead. Yeah. So there's no reason for her to be here or reason for her to do it as she does. Now, she's not there to find that out. She's there to, I think, like, get possible, like, people who are left behind and get them get them out. But, or maybe she's a spy. I don't remember exactly what her main purpose is, but she finds the Soldam and like hides them, right? Mm-hmm. So, and that's what like gets her involved with all this stuff. And that's what makes her want to talk to Aes Sedai and get to know them and try and figure out what the deal is or whatever.
So Min,
I don't know. I like her a lot, but I think that like you could just have there's another girl that they have to get to know and befriend, and it's this person, and that's it.
Why can't she just be gaining now?
Because Min's there, and that's too many people. Again, like it's too many people. Yeah. You have Min there. They don't know Min. They have to know her and become friends with her. Like that's like it
just keeps popping up in places where they're going to go, and nobody every time they meet her, nobody knows who she is.
Right. I mean, well,
they don't know. Nynaeve knows. Yeah, Nynaeve's met her,
and Matt knows her.
Yeah, and if Matt's going now, Matt knows, which is what I thought. That's what I thought when I heard like Min and Matt. I was like, oh, they're going to kind of tag team them up again. And
but Matt thinks she's like bad now.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I do think she's going to go there with Liandrin, and Matt's going to run into her, and and this is going to be her. That's going to like cause her to like.
She's going to help them free the panic or find whatever they're looking for.
Yeah.
What does Liandrin have over Min now, though?
Just once you work with bad people, like that's what they have over you. That you've already done it.
She has that she's an Aes Sedai and can just kill her pretty easily. That's
also and now she knows she's black. She will kill her. Yeah, and her family that she doesn't like.
Well, does Min know that Liandrin's Black Aja?
I think so. By the fact that Liandrin took her to meet a Forsaken.
Oh shit, that's right. I forgot about that scene.
Go here and meet this guy. Oh, okay.
So I have a question about Tanchico and the reason that they're in Tanchico, right? So could be multiple reasons. There's multiple reasons in the book, right? They go there looking for Black Aja, who are looking for some sort of powerful tool or tir'angreal. Do you think I think we've talked about this, and Tom, you've quoted Rafe on this. I think it was Rafe on this about. Like in books, you have multiple reasons for something happening, but in a show or a movie, you have one. Mm-hmm. If they're going to do one reason to go to Tanchico, what do you think it's going to be? Is it going to be one of those two or something totally new?
I think it's to find the Black Aja and get back at Liandrin.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they get word that somehow she's there and they go after her. Like Nynaeve wants revenge or they want to stop her or whatever. Like somehow they get wind of something that they're there, and they go after
maybe
them.
They find out when they're there that they're looking for something. That's why they're there. You could use both. Yeah. You could say that's why the Black Aja are there. Mm-hmm. They're there for exactly. Looking something. Yeah. So I think that wouldn't get too confusing. So I got a follow-up question, Jen. That's your thoughts on this, right? What they're looking for in the books is the domination bands, right? The male Adam. Is that what they're looking for in the show?
I think it could be because, like, Ishamael could have told Liandrin about that. Like, he spent time with the Seanchan, so maybe it's like a similar to the Idam that they use. He could have told her that this exists and explained like what it is.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And or Lanfear could tell her too. She was there too, but
I was thinking about this today. And
actually, Lanfear wouldn't because she doesn't want them to capture Rand. So that wouldn't work. But
or maybe she would use it on him.
Or maybe a different Forsaken.
Moghedien's there.
Moghedien's there too.
Yeah.
You can make her, even though she's not working with, she's not working with them yet. She starts working with them after that.
Well,
you can just make it that she's working with. She's both of them now. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I was thinking about this, and it always made sense. Like, oh yeah, the Male Adam. That's kind of a really cool thing and a really cool idea, concept, and. There's really only one scene that you lose and say, shit, we're losing that scene, is the scene where they use the Male Adam on Rand and he almost kills Min. But otherwise, you could cut the whole Male Adam and I don't think you would miss anything.
It's a Chekhov's gun. It's a Chekhov's gun. Like, it's there the whole time. It's going to get used and you're trying to figure out how. I agree with you, except for the fact that Yosha referenced in an interview that's something he's looking forward to being able to play.
He did mention the scene with Min, and I'm assuming that's the scene he's talking about.
I assume so too, because he's talking about all these terrible things.
I thought maybe he was talking about him sitting on the throne and her sitting on his lap.
Well, I think that would be a pleasant thing to. I mean, I'm sure he will enjoy doing that scene as well.
But he kind of spoke with confidence as like that's a scene that he knows is going to happen in the show, right? I think it wasn't. We're gonna film that on whatever. Because I think it was just like. But there were things that he going to be in the show.
Yeah, things that he really is looking forward to play, and it was the box, and it was that, and it was in the context of like these really traumatic things that Rand goes through.
Yeah, I think they could cut it. But then I guess what are they looking for? Then you're left with the Bowl of the Winds, though. Then right, that's the only other thing.
Which there's been no mention of weather.
Yeah.
In the show at all.
Or I guess it has to be the domination bands. If you're going to cut the Bowl of the Winds,
sense.
If you're
right,
I mean, they could find a twisted stone doorway there. I mean, that's what some of these people suggested in the same area.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Then I have another question that I was thinking about that came into my head when I was watching this video again and just mulling over some of these things. If they're combining Tanchico and Ebou Dar, does Nynaeve break her block the next season 3?
She can break a block anywhere.
Okay, so yes?
No.
I was a no. It was a not necessarily. Wasn't
right.
It?
I think Jen's saying it doesn't matter where it is where she is in the world when that happens.
Yeah. No, it doesn't matter, but I'm just saying, is this where they do it since they're pushing some of that stuff?
No, I think she needs to fight Moghedien and still be blocked and fail to fight Moghedien, because I do think I would be more surprised if they cut why did I just blank on her name? She's such an awesome character and I blanked on her name.
Birgitte?
Yeah, Birgitte. Like, I think she needs to be blocked for the whole Birgitte gets pulled from Tel'aran'rhiod thing to work without really changing it, which obviously they have very comfortable doing. But I think I like that in the end, Moghedien is responsible for Nynaeve losing her block, and I think that there's some nice Moghedien's so obsessed with getting revenge on her that she unlocks her full potential. So yeah, that could be anywhere.
Yeah, it's easy to put anywhere. I'm just wondering. So then that means, right, just pulling from what we've already gotten of Nynaeve's channeling abilities, it's just her screaming bursts of rage and fear. So then we're not going to see Nynaeve weave in this season again.
I think you can show that here. I think you can show a progression of her being able to do more things. Like they do make reference to the fact that like she can see a weave and repeat it and things of that nature. Like,
yeah, she did that with Leandrin.
She did it with Leandrin. So I think you can, like, she still needs to be really upset for it to happen.
She could figure out, right? Because right now she still doesn't know like what's the cause of her block. She could figure out what the block is, and she does this in the books, right? She realizes that it's only anger, and then she will make herself get angry to channel. Then eventually she just totally breaks it. Doesn't need to be angry. So they could establish that maybe in this season where she understands what her block is, and she's able to get herself to that point to channel, but it's still a block, right? She can't do it when she wants. So do you think there's a potential they do that in this season at least to kind of progress her forward?
Yeah, I like that. Like some of my favorite bits of her are like when she's angry and afraid, like from her point of view, and she's trying to keep angry, so that the fear doesn't take over and like she loses it. So yeah, I hope that they do now. I like that, Joe.
Yeah, I'm just wondering because I was thinking they could just potentially break right through her block this season, and that wouldn't surprise me. And I don't think I'd feel upset. I feel like she would probably do it again, talking about Moghedien, like maybe in that big fight she has with Moghedien, and that's when she finally breaks her block. Although I was theorizing that it's Leandrin she has to fight with at the end instead of Moghedien. So I don't know. Well, I guess when we get to our season 3 breakdowns, we can put something in writing.
In a year.
Yeah.
sometime around Christmas probably, or the holiday season, if we ever planned our stuff that far in advance. Any additional thoughts on these two characters going to Tanchico? What do we got? Bayle Domon, right? So Bayle Domon is in Tanchico. So do you think he comes back? They introduced him. He popped up in 2 episodes.
Yeah. I think they make him come back at the end so that you remember that he's important when he shows up next. I think he's in Tanchico, and I think they take the sea folk to get there. The sea folk get them.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, you think he might take them to Tanchico because it's already established he's involved.
Yeah, I think.
And then he pops up later on.
I think it's more. I think it's more if time has passed. Like it's more of like, holy shit, he's this guy. He's here now, being a perfectly respectable businessman. I think that's more fun for audiences, and like, there's no other reason for the sea folk, which we know are going to be in next season, to be in next season if they're not taking these girls from one sea city to another. Yeah,
that's right. Because I think Rafe said we're getting sea folk this season.
Yeah, remember when he was working on writing it, he was like on the ocean. Yeah. Just mentioned that they're sea folk season 3.
Yeah,
to everyone's howling acclaim.
That's great. Thanks, Rafe.
Maybe they'll be so cool on the show and everyone will love them.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, as much as I've been grumpy about the potential for magic changes, and guys who may be agreeing with me or nodding or going, yeah, as you heard me rant earlier, remember, I am pretty wrong on a lot of this stuff. So don't
take comfort in Tom's.
Yeah.
Wrong.
And I would say,
word for wrongness.
I don't know.
His lack of honesty.
I don't know what you're looking for. No, that's not true. I'm honest in my feelings about this not being something I see the potential. But no, I was gonna say they have done such a good job of taking elements from the books that we don't like and making them really likable on the show.
Yeah, so, taking elements from the books we like and then getting rid of them.
Well, yeah, you give and take.
I kid. No, seriously. Back to Matt, because we started to talk about it, but we were talking really about what Matt's going to do after season 3. So if Matt goes to Tanchico, what is he doing in Tanchico? Because I don't think we spent too much time on that.
Go ahead, Jen. I got nothing.
I don't know.
We talked a lot about what was going to happen after that.
He's dicking around. I don't know. He's
protecting Nynaeve and Elaine, even though they don't want him.
Is there Golem? Is there a Golem in this season?
The way it's like Tom went with them because like Rand asked him to go
to keep an eye on Elaine.
Yeah, Elaine. Yeah, maybe Lan and Rand come to Matt separately, and they both ask him to go to watch the other girl.
And then they meet up with Tom.
I guess they meet up with Tom when they're there. I guess.
Yeah, I think Matt's purpose is to like, hey, I know you, and hey, I know you. You should join our party, and like that's it. That's his purpose.
Yeah, Min has to be there with the
different about you. You think they make a joke about that? Like,
They didn't do it in this one.
But with Tom, it would make sense because he hasn't seen him in a while. And he's got the difference of like being, enthralled by the dagger and being free from it. So like you could use it as like a double.
You made a cute thing,
Yeah. What the hell?
Like, you look good
too?
You look good.
He has to go through. I feel like he has to go through a stone tyrannosaurus. What else is he going to do then?
I think he does. I think you're going to get. I think that is going to be his story propellant throughout, whether it's happening in episode 1 or episode 3 or 4 or whatever
5,
it
6.
is.
Oh, when we get the the episode,
I think it'll be first half.
I can't wait for those.
They mean nothing.
We have a couple already, I think, right?
They mean nothing.
What do you think would be an episode title? Well, I think they should call the Roidian episode. They just call it Roidian. They shouldn't, or like what's it called? What's it?
Well, it's a bunch of it's a few chapters.
2 chapters.
Yeah.
Remember when you said Rafe would never
or...
name an episode that if and not put Flicker in because he knows
what was meant to be.
Everyone will wait for it. Yeah, he would never do that.
I was wrong. He really that. Listen, he said a lot by doing that. Now, right? We know a lot. We've learned a lot from him doing that.
Blood calls blood. Well, has to be the beginning of the great. That was when we were like little children, not knowing anything.
Little children.
What a sweet summer children. That's what I was trying to think of.
Sweet summer children.
I feel like this is a companion episode to that episode. Right?
Blood boils blood.
Blood boils blood. Right? That was just like an early episode of ours.
Think about that when you create a name, Tom, for this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be, he gets told he has to go for some reason. Whatever that reason is, yeah, I mean,
like if he asks Matt to do one thing and Perrin to do another thing,
I think it starts off with like the two of them like, we're with you, Rand, and then at the end of the episode, like, sorry, Rand, we're not with you anymore. Like,
I think like you said, Rand asked Matt to go with Elaine and Nynaeve to Tenchiko to keep an eye on them.
I think if the doorway's in Thom, then the doorway tells him to go, and I think if it doesn't, then you're right. Then Rand asks him to go.
I think the doorway is going to be in Tenchiko.
Yeah, I like the idea of the doorway being in the museum. That's a good idea.
I like the idea of he goes to the waste and goes to the doorway and never comes out in the waste, and Rand just thinks he's dead. Again.
I don't like that.
Matt another time goes through or doesn't go through a doorway, and
I do like that. Like,
it's like man? Too much.
And then
Matt's never allowed to go through a door or not go through a door ever again.
Everyone
has to go through doors together.
Descender, to cut through it.
And I also do like either way, Matt just inadvertently or advertently abandoning every season. I think it'll be fun. So I also do like he goes to them with Tenchiko and leaves, and they're just like, "What the hell? Where did he go?" and like Rand comes out of that Crystal Tower, just sees him hanging.
Well, that could be them leaving. Yeah, that could be the leaving Tenchiko like Ibu Dar without Matt scene because they think he's dead. It's the same thing, right? Instead of a building falling on him, he goes into the door frame and never comes out.
But why,
because he comes out in Ruidian.
It doesn't really work like that, though, in the book, where like you come out a different door.
No, well, no, you don't come out of a doorway at all. Like, he comes out.
Well, no, they come out the doorway in the first. They come out in tier. Remember, because they realize they both come out at the same time. All three of them come out, right?
Yeah.
I guess he gets thrown through the doorway and hung.
By I don't know. We don't really know about that.
He gets hung from a tree.
Well, he walks out in like a daze and hangs him.
No, he doesn't do it. They do it.
No, they throw him out. Remember, like he feels himself getting pulled. Did they throw this? I think they throw the Chandra at him, and like it flies him out. Yeah, it's magic.
And he just hangs himself.
Oh no, it's not snakes. Which one is which?
Snakes are first, and then the fox.
She kidnapped herself, man.
The snakes are nicer than the foxes.
None of them are nice, but
the foxes almost kill him, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Who's the one who takes his eyes too at the end? His eye. Is that both of them together?
He takes his eye.
Does he take it out himself?
Oh.
I don't know if he does. I remember. It's terrible. I haven't read that book in a long time. He takes it out.
Not too long.
But I think they ask him to do it.
No, I think he does it. I think they do it.
He does, because he knows that he puts together how come he has these memories of everybody, because these are all people who have went in, and he realizes that they can see everything that he sees, and that's why he cuts his eye out, because I guess they can see through one eye. I don't know. Maybe he realizes, wait a second, I have no depth perception in any of these memories. They're only my left eye. I don't know.
My left eye, Daniel Day-Lewis.
My left foot.
He puts a paintbrush in his eye socket, his empty eye socket, and paints with it.
I've not seen that movie. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
He's like he can only move his left foot, so he paints with that. That's the book. Yeah, he's like I don't remember what he's got, some disease. I don't remember exactly what.
I like how it's always pronounced my left foot. It's never like my left foot. It's just very like it's
my left foot, not my left foot. Not my left foot.
My left foot. It's not my left foot.
It's his left foot. Yeah, the important part is that it's his, not that it's a foot.
Or that it's the left one.
Or it's that it's left.
Sorry.
That would be great if you were like promoting the movie and you just said it like that every time. My left foot. Yeah, did you guys see my left foot? It sounds stupid that way.
My left foot?
Have you seen my left foot? It sounds more classy. I don't know. Question mark? All right, I think we've talked about this enough. I think we've gone off the rails a bit. Yeah. Yes, I think we've talked enough for the night.
My left foot? My left foot?
I shot the clock.
I'm in the middle of a damn confession here.
My left foot? Did you guys see my left foot? No, that doesn't work. I want to remind everyone to follow us on social media. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Also on Threads. I forgot to mention that too. Join us over in Discord to continue the conversation there. We also post the episodes on YouTube, so go check out our YouTube page and be sure to like and subscribe. Rate and review us wherever you listen to podcasts. We love your reviews, so please, please, please leave us some good well, it doesn't have to be good feedback. Leave us feedback. We love feedback, whether it's good or bad.
Quality feedback. That's what he means.
Yeah, what we don't like is lukewarm feedback. We don't want that. So it's either got to be high or low. Nowhere in the middle. Check out our merchandise and Patreon pages to support us that way. Links to all the aforementioned information are included in the show notes to this episode. Jen and Tom, do you have any last words before we close?
Is today Little Christmas? Or tomorrow? Happy Little Christmas, everyone.
What is Little Christmas, Jen?
I believe it's the day the wise men arrived.
Yeah, Three Kings Day.
The Three Kings.
And for some reason, they were still in the... Well, I guess he was only a couple days old. They were still hanging out in the stable.
12 days old.
Waiting for these
12
guys
days
to
Christmas.
Get there. Yes, this is the 12th day of Christmas. You get the
gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Very useful for a
very much
baby.
Loved. Yes.
They sell they hawk all that stuff to get
Mary and Joseph used it to get back
formula.
Home.
If Mary wasn't oh no, forget about it. That was a stupid question.
Yeah, probably.
I was going to get into something really stupid. I already answered the question. Anyway, Tom, have any last words from you?
No, but yeah, this is I just to double down on what Jen's saying. I think some people were saying it in chat. The 6th of January is a holiday that's celebrated just as much as Christmas is in some other cultures. Little Christmas or Three Kings Day, or there are other names that I'm not going to pronounce because I'll butcher the accents. But yeah. It's a big day, so if you celebrate that, great. If not, it's really freaking cold, so stay inside.
Yeah, I'm supposed to get about a foot of snow Saturday into Sunday, so but it's great. It's the weekend. I got nowhere to go anyway. I'll be watching some football.
Hot cocoa.
Hot tea. So thanks everyone for listening, and you'll hear us next time.